Evening. Hi guys, good to be back. It's episode 8. We have a lot of surprises for you right now. A lot of is going on in the community. People are getting back to work and people are getting back to the clubs. We have our friend Kristian, who is already doing some club duty tonight. So basically, he'll just be briefly with us. I will just introduce you guys to this bunch of folks. Say hello, guys. You're on the screen right now. People can hear you. Okay. We have a new guest, or a new friend with us. It's Robert from Valley Gaming. He has a YouTube channel that we are going to talk about. But first of all, hello, Lud. Hello, Kristian. How has it been with you guys? How has it been this week?
It was a super busy week work-wise. This is actually the first hobby time I've got in since can't remember when. So most likely it was on Sunday, but just went into full work mode. Not much. Been working a lot. Been working out quite a bit now. Started getting into that again. Gotta get back into shape.
Back to work.
And it's been a good week.
Cool.
Can't wait for the rest of it.
Cool.
And I had my birthday on Tuesday.
Oh, congrats! You didn't say anything, mate.
I mean, there's not much happening after 30, so I mean, why bother?
Oh, come on!
It was a good. I had a good dinner last night with family, and
Miss.
Might go for a few drinks tomorrow night.
Cool. We'll join you in the next tournament for beer. That will be on me.
Sounds good. So, stream, write that up. TO's got the first round.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So, Kristian, how has it been with you guys?
Well, I just ordered some new stuff from Battlefront.
Yeah.
And I ordered 2 boxes of universal carriers and Dynamos because I have the old ones in resin and metal from back in 2010. I think I bought them. So I wanted the new versions because I think the detail level on them are prettier and they don't have the bases underneath.
They're absolutely superb, the new models, although they are plastic, and I know some people are like, some people like plastic, some people don't. It's like, some people like pizza, some don't. But yeah.
Who doesn't like pizza?
It depends.
And then the reason why I don't know if the sound here is that good, but I'm so fortunate that our local gaming club has opened. So we're allowed to have 10 people down here at the club with all the social distancing, and also with alcohol for cleaning and sanitizing your hands and all the stuff, by now. But we divided the week into separate days. So today is bold action night, and then during the week we have 40k nights and Flames of War nights and Magic cards, Magic the Gathering night and stuff like that.
So back to the game, I could say, for you.
Yeah. And I just been told that the tournament I'm going to in Copenhagen on the 27th of June is going to take place, and there'll be like 12 participants at the moment. So hopefully we'll get up to around, I think, 16.
Nice. I've seen Lud raising an eyebrow right there. He was like, "Ooh, Copenhagen. That's not that far." But he'll go back to quarantine.
I've got flights for Copenhagen, but they're in July, so I'm just missing out on the tournament.
All right. Yeah.
And I don't think I'm gonna have time for a game, even if I wanted to. So.
Yeah. Well.
So I'll we'll have to take a rain check on the tournament, Kristian.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But next week they're gonna open the country for gatherings above 50 people. I think it's gonna be between 50 and 200 people. It's
Whoa.
in the making it right now, so they might have the big tournaments in the autumn, hopefully.
Well, we are all waiting for those, aren't we? I've been, as I told you guys last week, I have an invitation to a tournament in Serbia on the 4th of July, but it's still unclear how the border will work around those things. I mean, I can go to Serbia, that won't be a problem, but when I return from Serbia, I might have to stay for 2 weeks in isolation, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, might even if it's fun to play a game and so on, might not be worth it.
Yeah, and now we have Robert here, and we can play remotely with him, because he has a really nice system that he developed, and he is like top notch in that, and he will tell us more about it during this stream. But still, I still have work to do. I still have a lot of things to do, and it's very hard for me to not be able to do that. So basically, a lot of things depend on that, and yeah, it's harsh. So Kristian, now you've told me that you cannot stay with us for that long. Tell me some things. I mean, we discussed some interesting things last time. I've showed you guys a battle report about the game I've done playing myself, because I didn't knew Robert by then, but from now on I might be playing with him. I hope so.
Well, the newest thing is that the Danish ETC team have been testing the IS2 list once again.
Okay. Same result?
No, it lost actually, but it was due to objective placement, because for you all are well aware of that tanks can't assault infantry in buildings.
Yes.
So if you keep it near the building and just stay on the ground, it's mathematics whether or not he's gonna kill those stands in there. So in the end, he weren't able to get him off the objective.
Okay.
So for the list to work, as we talked about last time, I would definitely get some sort of infantry. Just a small unit, 8 stands, 10 stands perhaps, for Soviet standards, and then have it along in the list to be able to push people out of buildings, because it's going to be an issue.
Yeah. Well, you still have breakthrough on the IS-2s. You still have those kind of good things that could help you with the infantry in the building, but I think you've missed 2 things. Probably your Katyusha died.
Yeah, he had Katyushas that died also. The Morten, the guy he played against, who's also on the Danish ECT team, is also a very skilled player. So he knows what to pick out first and then play his hand to the fullest, and he did that.
Okay. So basically, yeah, it happens. Well, good to know that the IS-2s can be beaten. I mean, I've been working around some lists myself, having in mind both British Churchills and IS-2s. So basically, I think the meta for the next ATC will be pretty much big boys and big guns. So basically, this will be the fight between. I mean, Robert, I know you don't have that much experience with international gaming, but I hope we will see you in tournaments around the world now that you'll get to meet us. And yeah, it's an exercise for us all. I'm happy that we managed to bring another friend in, and I hope you will stick with us. And this how do you call it? It's a virus. This jumping from international tournament to international tournament, and watching, and saving your
gaming fever.
Yeah, gaming fever, exactly. Saving your vacation money and trying to squeeze those free days from your family and from work and all those crazy things we need to do for our hobby. But we're crazy, so basically probably we'll do it. So Kristian, You've been trying IS2s. I've looked for the average issue. You know, the fact that we talked about, and it's clearly written in the rule book that if you shoot an artillery bombardment, you either shoot with all guns or with none.
So, yeah, exactly as I said last time. Yeah.
So basically, Avres cannot do what I've done, which was pretty cheesy. If it would have been possible, but still, I mean, I see Avres as a good unit to assault with in the end. We'll have to test it. We'll have to see how that thing proves and how it works around. I also I've been a little bit more attentive to the difference between the carriers and the Daimler platoons. Like the Daimler has only an 8-inch tactical move, but the carriers have 10-inch. So basically, I wouldn't max on the Daimlers. I would max on the carriers. Not take the extra dingo, for example, on the 2 platoons, and with the for those 2 extra dingos, you get actually a full platoon of carriers. So that will be much better in the end. Good to see you're at the hobby shop. Can you show us the guys playing?
Yeah.
Or
it's
you
nice.
think they'll be shy?
But no, I can show you our gaming studio, our club. It's just I can just film briefly in because I don't want to put them on live stream if they don't like.
Yeah. Ask them, guys. You're gonna be on a live stream. Do your wives know you're playing games at this hour and not staying home?
Let me see if I can turn the screen around. But basically, this is all the terrain we have. Different games. Yeah.
Really nice organized.
Yeah, and then the club is out here. It's very big, but I don't want to.
And you're doing you're doing management for them, or is it your club?
It's because it counts as a youth club.
Okay.
So due to Danish law, we have to have at least one adult that have filled out different forms and legal stuff about my background, so I'm not a criminal and stuff like that. And then it's because the municipality supports the gaming club. So for us to be registered as a youth club and get support.
Whoa, that's really nice. That's really nice.
We need to have subtle and just people.
Nice.
Maintaining
so they chose you.
The club.
Yeah,
they chose me.
Yeah, they chose him.
Yeah, I'm just here incognito.
That's really good. That's really good. Good to see people are playing, and I'm sure you'll do us a presentation of your club, ASP, so people in Denmark know where to find you if they don't know already. But hey, I think that's a good idea to start with, presenting your club. I encourage everyone to let their community know about their clubs and about where people can meet and play games and do interesting stuff. Okay, so...
But I'm going to go now to you because I have to go back to the club, but it's been nice chatting to you guys.
Perfect, Kristian.
Yeah, and then I'll be back with a vengeance next Friday, and then we can chat about stuff. Yeah, okay?
Exactly. Don't forget to watch the stream, okay? Continue watching.
I will.
Perfect.
See you guys.
See you, Kristian. Can you... Let's see how is it going. Yep, now he's out. So now it's between us 3. Our discussion will go to Robert. What do you say, dude? Let's pick him up.
We've kept
him
waiting way too long.
Yeah.
People want to know, who is this young man waiting for his turn to talk? I don't know what is he doing here?
What is he doing here?
Who is this guy?
Yeah, Robert. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So everyone, I'm Rob. Got asked to join in with this chat. Feel very privileged to be part of this excellent team. Obviously, I play Flames of War in South Wales in the UK. I picked Flames of War up when the open fire set came out in version 3, but didn't quite get into it until version 4 came out, and with the El Alamein stuff, really interested me, the North African campaign, and I've spent a fortune on it since, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Join the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, Robert started the same time as I did. I started Flames of War buying the Open Fire starter set, and that was like the beginning, you know. It took about 2 years for me to find somebody to play a game with, because I didn't know much about it. I mean, I've been playing World of Tanks, and from World of Tanks, I was like, whoa, these guys have models, you know, with tanks and panthers and king tigers and tigers. I was like, wow, I need to try this. And then afterwards, I've seen, oh, it has a rule book actually, and it has rules, and you can play games with these things. 2 years later, I was like going for a spot in the Romanian ATC team. So yeah, it's a dream come true, let's say.
Yeah,
So,
I think I got my first Flames of War models back in 2008 or 7.
oh, that's before Open Fire, a lot
Yeah,
before.
but it took a long time before I got into any gaming. So I bought the models. I think it was the SS Company.
Yep.
Then I had still have the Cobra book.
Nice.
And then I got some, not knowing anything about list building, I bought like 1 or 2 Pumas, no idea where they are, by the way. Some Stugs.
You really need them now.
Basically, I bought some cool models that I thought would look great.
You could
And then I got into gaming in, what would it be, maybe 2016, 17?
Mm-hmm.
And it's been downhill ever since.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Oh yeah, but
All
I
right.
mean, hey, it's been a good ride, and I hope it still goes on.
Exactly. So, why I invited Robert to join us, guys, is because he does some excellent job. You can see now on the screen, I'm sharing his YouTube channel. It's called Valley Gaming. It's a growing YouTube channel, and what surprised me was the fact that somebody actually, I mean, we've talked with some of our friends about remote gaming, and we've talked about ourselves about sharing an experience remotely and playing Flames of War remotely. But this guy actually did it. So, Rob, you did something that few people imagine that it's possible to play remotely. I mean, for me, for example, I don't know about others, but for me it was like pretty much a hard headache to be able to get your friend to stick around watching you move his army around and telling you, well, I mean, tell us a little about how you started all this.
Well, obviously with the pandemic, everything closed, which is unfortunate for the British D-Day book because it coincided with that.
Exactly.
And so, first of all, I thought, great, I can paint up all my British stuff,
Exactly.
and then this will all blow over. And see, we're still in the middle of it. All my models were painted, and I was starting to get the shakes. I wanted to use these Cromwells, which I've been wanting to use since I knew Cromwells were coming out. So I messaged my friend Dave, who does a lot of games with me.
Yeah.
I pitched him the idea because it just came to me one night. Why don't I just go on FaceTime and try it that way? So I messaged him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not sure if it'll work." And I said, "Well, just sit with me, give it a go, because we'll all get a game." So we gave it a go, filmed it, and then obviously put it up. And he said he really enjoyed it, and it wasn't too much he didn't see, because I made sure I panned around, and after doing that, putting it up, I started getting people going, "Could I have a game with you?" And I was like, "Yeah, cool." So I played a guy called Tom up in Scotland, who I would never have played a game of Flames of War outside of a tournament. Great guy. And then his friend Lucas goes, "Can I have a game?" And I'm like, "Yeah, definitely." And I'm learning a lot from those two because they got more experience, and I'm like meeting new people through the game. And those two, because being more experienced players, they're a lot more micromanaging where I'm showing the camera, and when I'm moving the units, they're like, "Oh no, I've tilted a little bit more to like the front armor and stuff like that," and it's fun. And what I've been doing lately is I've been stepping back from the playing role and just having two remote players, so they kind of both have the disadvantage of not actually being there.
Whoa,
and
that's next level.
I feel like I'm RAF command, just moving things on the map, and then I'm just getting like communications of what's actually happening.
Exactly. We're having some of your videos on the back of us chatting about Lud. You can take a look at it. This guy has an incredible table.
Those tables are amazing, by the way.
Incredible table, and this guy actually has, like, I think, all models that you could possibly think about it, and they're all painted. I was like, is this guy owning a club or something, or how is this possible? I mean, I've built my table during this pandemic thing, and it looks like you don't want to see it, you know. And this guy actually, you know, you see the quality in his painting is really nice. And here, I think, Rob, you'll be good friends with Lud because he's the painter in our bunch of folks, a band of brothers. Let's say, let's call each other a band of brothers.
I like that.
He's the painter. I'm the action guy who always likes to play a game or two or three or whatever, how many, but don't get that much fuss about painting my models correctly or doing crazy stuff like he does with basing and all those crazy things. And Lud, I really want you to tell us about what Battlefront asked you to do, about that article.
Oh well, I was thinking about talking about when it was coming out, but
yeah, I spoiled it.
I will be writing a article for Battlefront.
Exactly.
And it will be published at some point.
Top-notch friends here. So, top-notch models.
Yeah, there's going to be some NAM-related things coming up soon. But I think it's going to be a bit of a tutorial talking about basing and painting up minis.
Tell us in a few minutes about it. Tell us in a few minutes about it. What do you say? I want to learn more about it. You need to tell me more about it, and I'm not
going to spoil it all because then you're not going to read the article. I know you like the pictures more than the text, so I'm not going to tell it all.
You cheesy Finn.
But yeah, I got this crazy idea of making the bases into puzzles, so to speak.
Yeah.
And a platoon creates this mini diorama on them, and that way I also get to try out new modeling techniques, basing, using different products. Yeah.
Crazy.
You'll have to
read the article.
Until, the article is published. And I think it should be quite soon.
Yeah.
Since we have a deadline and everything set up, so yeah.
Good job, my friend. Good job.
Stay tuned. Go and check out flamesofwar.com twice a day when you wake up and just before you go to bed. It might be there.
Well, maybe we will post something on our channel and let people know that you are there. So I really want to brag about it because you're my friend. Now look at this table, my friend. I mean, this table looks crazy. How did you came up with it? Are these all your terrain, all your models, Rob?
Yes, it is. The British D-Day are kind of a joint project with me and Sherry. Sherry started it, and I thought, being a good friend, because she only wanted so much. Being a good friend, I went, I'll get the other half if you want. So, because obviously the thing is then I'm allowed to use it then. which is good. The only thing I don't have is Russians, but my friend Dave is going to be on it at some point when the Bagration book comes out, hopefully. I've played against Russians a few times, and I thought the Americans had a lot of tanks. But no, T-34s do quite scare me, the swarms that come in.
Just wait until you bump into a Lend-Lease company, or Lend-Lease battalion, as they're called.
Yeah.
Then you'll have
a lot
ton of stuff coming up.
A lot of Shermans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valentines, whatever. The opponent most likely doesn't have enough barrels to take them out.
Exactly.
As for the terrain, it's all mine. A few years ago, I came up with the idea of buying some tables in and a mat, play my own games, just because it's a little bit easier. And I thought, like a weekend in, have a few beers while I play. So like before I started the channel, a lot of the games were just a couple of houses and the flat terrain that comes in the starter set. And if I just turn my laptop a bit,
yeah,
you will see my boxes of terrain.
All right.
So I've kindly got one with just foreground buildings, desert terrain, and then it's just like hedges, and then got the castles and stuff for Lord of the Rings, the bigger models, etc.
Yeah, because you're also doing other games, other games like Lord of the Rings or these kind of things. I've seen on your channel.
Yeah, so is that Lord of the Rings? So Games Workshop do that, and I've started another one, which is a Song of Ice and Fire, which looks really interesting. See, can't wait to play a game of that. But I found Flames of War was the best one to translate to the remote gaming.
Yep.
Because although it is very precise, where you can put a tank and it could be bad or good for you.
Exactly.
Lord of the Rings, much more intricate movement that can win and lose you the game. But Flames of War, at least you got armor saves to help you out a little bit. And people who can't roll firepower tests as well.
Yeah, and I think it's much more static from the perspective that you're actually commanding your army on a battlefield, and you can see your army, and you have to take steps and turns, and then you can take pauses and film and talk about it and discuss these kind of things. Rob, you're doing a great job, and as I told you on YouTube in your comments, you need to play me. I mean, I need to play you. Definitely, we have to try this. I mean, I really like what you're doing, and I think this is actually something that you can do after the pandemic also. I mean, I don't know if you play with, you have your friends coming over your house and play with them, or you just play remote with them.
Well, obviously we can't in the UK have anyone over outside of your family, and even then, that's 2 meters. So luckily that is actually a length of a gaming board, but obviously all the dice and stuff would be shared. So it's going to be remote for now. But with Tom and Lucas, I definitely still be happy to play remote games with them rather than me tracking up to Scotland or them down to Wales. It's kind of like built up like quite a decent friendship with them, really. It's really, really good, and definitely I'd want to play you as well, and it would be like a regular thing. The problem is you'll have to submit me a list, and I'll have to look and go, actually, I don't have these models, you're going to have to come back. But,
well, actually, what we're doing here on this channel is list building. So basically, I will show you guys a list, because I've talked with Lud, and Lud asked me what are we going to talk about this stream, and I think it's time for us to get our noses a little bit into the German lists. Because I've seen you like to play your British army, and I would really like to see how the British do against Germans and German lists. I wouldn't go for a list that is static or that is a a current meta build, but for something that I'm trying and I'm testing out for maybe possibly ATC or any other tournaments. It's like I want to do. Yeah, I want to see how my list and my idea of list will go around with the British forces, the new British forces. I see Patrick Lud. This is why I've stopped for a post for a little.
Oh yeah,
Patrick is saying something about
Patrick,
your
yeah.
article. So be sure to write it nicely so that people actually understand what you're saying, and be as demonstrative as possible, so people can get your technique and use it to do their bases. So
no worries on that.
So with no further ado, let's jump to some list building. Rob told us about the way he's playing his friends, and probably I hope Rob will agree to live stream our game, if possible.
Yeah, could do that. Yeah, if I could figure it out.
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out. I've already thought about it, and we'll have to do some testing to see how it will go for us. Lud, I know he's more than happy to be able to play, so probably.
Oh, yeah.
He would like to get a taste of it at a point, isn't it, Lud?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, we've already played remotely using Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah.
With one of the Swiss players, Etienne. I think you
Yes,
met
yes, yes.
And yeah, we had great fun. Unfortunately, we haven't finished up the game yet. Just both have busy lives, so I haven't talked about it a lot so far. Since it'll be more interesting to talk about it after we've actually completed the game.
Exactly. That is a topic, and you've promised me you'll show me the game at one point.
Oh
and
yeah.
Show how it is played.
Yeah.
And
it's super simple, since Etienne did a really good job compiling all the trains and models into one package, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So because it would be quite a daunting task to find all the components browsing through the Steam Workshop, and then you I mean, I'm not an expert on TTS, but
Yeah.
I'm sure if we wouldn't have a complete set already, it would have taken ages to find the right pieces without them glitching and going all crazy.
Exactly. Hello, Andre. Andre is saying hello, my good friend. I'm happy you are able to join us. Stick around so you can see some list building, because this is what's coming up right now. Before that, I want to let everybody know who's watching this. We're going to have a live stream on Sunday from Pete and Chris, and this will be like very, very interesting, because they will talk about book launching and model launching and everything. So if we want to find something good, we will see each other on that stream, because I have some questions for Pete and Chris, and I know Lud also has some, and probably everybody who's like watching this stream or watching whatever related to Flames of War. Yeah, because I'm hoping that we will have a Bagratian Russian book in September. This is, I mean, I've said August in the first, but they still have to launch the SS book, and that will be for 2 months with new models and everything launching, and that will take some time. I don't know how they are doing in terms of production and getting the distribution line running, because I know in Asia is still still troublesome. Here in Europe, it's already dimming down. In the US, it's crazy because, yeah, issues. And now it's like we have to wait and, yeah, play remote games, enjoy local tournaments, or enjoy your friends at the hobby shop. What other new things I've seen on the Battlefront page on Flames of War? It's something actually that showed up, and I've seen in one of Rob's games, was the book for the Czech.
Yeah,
Czech
the old
company.
PDF, which was updated to V4.
Exactly.
That should
And
be a
they
fun
are
list to try.
amazing as well. I wouldn't. If you have Cromwells, you have to use these guys because they get Fireflies and their blitz moves better, and they're a point cheaper.
Exactly. Well, they lose the scout rule, which actually makes them cheesy, from my perspective. Otherwise, I wouldn't go for Cromwells at all, because you can have Shermans much cheaper than that. So, from my point of view, but otherwise, I've seen you play them in your battle reports, and they seem to do a pretty good job. And the Czech card, it's really good. I can't really actually find it. Can you tell me, Rob?
Actually, you've saved it on your.
No. It's on the Rob sent me the link, and I should be able to find it. Yeah, it's here. Yeah, good job,
It
my friend.
took me for ages to find it because I think they did this in April, and I was trying to go through their link from their Instagram because that's where I saw it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I managed to get it for you.
Yeah, so really nice. It's something they should have talked about it, because, for example, I know that us guys in the tournament, it's on the 25th of April, so they could have said something about this. These two cards are really nice. I mean, the one for the Cromwells is specifically very nice. The one for the Motor Company, I don't know.
That's why I fielded a normal Motor Company in that game.
Yeah. I've seen it, and you're right. I mean, you would prefer. So these guys will do a skill on a 3+ instead of deadly. Yeah, you need deadly because infantry. I mean, English infantry. That's their specialty, the deadly rating, and English infantry without deadly, it's like what, you know? It's like American infantry, which is crap. Yeah, so these cards are really nice. And what do you say, Lud? Are we going to see this in the next ATC? Do you think the board will approve of them?
Very. I mean, as far as I know, I think they are official cards, so they. I mean, why not?
It is. They are official cards. They are on the Battlefront webpage.
Yeah.
And from my point of view, from my perspective, let us use this.
Yeah.
I mean,
unless this is my personal opinion, unless the Captain's Council does something stupid and starts banning specific cards, like limiting the game, which I find ridiculous actually, because I mean, the idea of us being able to compete is that you have the liberty of using the game.
Exactly.
Okay, I have to say I do like the amendment which was proposed at last year's ETC of not being able to go with a crazy amount of allied formations and so on.
Yes.
That you would have that maybe one allied platoon instead of having these crazy 222 lists or L6 lists.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, okay, I had a relatively fun time playing against them, but it's
not that funny.
Me as a history geek seeing more L6s on the table than were ever produced is kind of funny. But I mean, yeah, it's still a viable tactic, and should be allowed. And I mean, why not even allow generally community approved cards as well? Because you have some amazing things that have been created by the community before,
like the Panzer 3080.
Yep.
Or yeah.
And yeah, and then I can still remember the ETC 2 years back, where we had a guy playing a Norwegian infantry list, which was also originally a community-created PDF, which was then approved by Battlefront.
And don't forget the Dianas. So the Dianas in Mid-War, they were actually a card from the community, made by the community. So yeah, we can do this. Rob, what's your impression? What's your feeling about the British book? Is it OP? Is it much better than all the other books, or how do you find it? Because you've played the most games between us all, so.
Well, let's break it down to armor first. Obviously, you've got your bog standard Shermans with your Fireflies, and I think they're pretty much the same as they were in the Fortress Europe book, apart from there's the upgrade cards that come with them. So you've got your Canadians, your Polish, and your Guards. Obviously, I think the Polish just makes them.
Yeah, the Polish beasts. I call them the Polish beasts. We've shown a list. I've thrown a list on the channel about those crazy tanks having 16 fearless Shermans on the table. It's pretty powerful from my perspective, and I think everybody agreed that that list is a list to be reckoned. And also I've took with that list, so I've made them fearless, and I gave them 50 kills. So they were like a dream come true from for an attacking player, and as aggressive as I am, because I've told the guys here on the channel that I'm an American player. I usually play American lists at tournaments, and I've been playing American lists since like ATC, because the guys don't let me play Germans. I want to play Germans, but they don't let me play Germans because they say I'm too good at being a bully with American lists, and usually I'm taking Stewarts and go all over the place with them and suffocate my opponent until he does some mistake, and then that's it, game done. What I've seen in the D-Day, the new D-Day British book, is that this book is like so OP. I mean, the only thing that I was expecting from it as an American player was to have my Achilles or my Fireflies as an allied platoon, because we at the ATC, I don't know if you know or if you're aware of it, we have some special rules that we play with, and that special rule, when you build your list, actually allows you to take only one allied platoon. You cannot take allied formations. So basically you are deprived as an American for having more than one Firefly as an allied. So basically you just have one tank with anti-tank 14. So
Crocs.
Yeah, Crocs.
Allied platoon.
Yeah, they're really nice.
I think we're gonna see a few at the ETC next year.
I've been trying to build a crocodile list as an American, and I'm telling you, if you get those points into your crocodiles, you either get only 2 crocodiles and some juicy stuff that you can do stuff with it, but it's just 2 crocodiles. It's enough for one to get bailed, and then they're gone, possibly, and then you have to take the core as the infantry core, which is at least I think 14 points. which is another Sherman platoon for me. So they're useless as an infantry. You either build your defensive list on the veteran rifle platoon company, and then you have Shermans, the 76 Shermans with the crocodiles and possibly Churchills, and that list will be pretty static. And that list will be like you just have to wait for the opponent to come to you. And I don't like that, so basically I will skip that. But yeah, we will see crocodiles, I think. We will see crocodiles. I don't think we will see so many crocodiles in the British British lists, because
I think the Avrays are going to take the
exactly
spotlight from the crocs, because they
and wasps.
Yes,
Wasps
and your famous maxed out carrier list.
Exactly.
Which is going to be a nuisance.
Exactly. Everybody will.
I can already feel it.
Yeah.
There is the breaching group command card, which is Sherman DDs with Aviaries and Churchills all in formation. But I think fielding that, you don't really have much room for anything else.
No.
Exactly. Which kind of I did look at it, because I'm really wanting to try out the commandos with.
I will start a list as we're talking.
What's the guy called? I can't remember the name of the card, but the one that gives me concealment when I move.
Yeah, they give you scout for your
the range to
Joe Akins. No.
No, it was. Yeah. Well, anyway, I was kind of hoping to be able to combine them with the breaching group.
The breaching group.
But but then again, the commando formation would stay so small that it's not viable.
Well, actually, Rob.
So let's see.
Rob plays a lot of his lists with only 3 or 4 platoons in the formation, which is sometimes I think they are pretty thin, but in the end he manages to win with them. Who knows? We could try.
So it's all in the dice.
Exactly, more or less. One thing that I want to bring up now, this is probably an FAQ. Let's call it a FAQ part of the stream. I don't understand why you cannot take Avres as allied platoon for the Americans, because you have them as a core platoon in the breaching group. So basically,
could it be a bug? Something they forgot to put in? Because me personally, I've been waiting for the Red Devils book to be added on forces.
Yes.
All I can hear is crickets.
We will hear the we will hear the crickets on Sunday, my friend. When Pete and Chris will probably tell us something about it, when we will ask, because I don't think they will just tell us when they will upgrade and update things on forces. So this is one of my questions. When are Avres going to be an allied formation for the Americans? Because as the rule sets for list building for the ATCs right now, I would really like to take an Avre assault section for my I'm between Shermans and Stuarts. You know, so basically we'll have to see. Other than that, we've talked about it. We've talked about the British lists. I know Rob is a big fan of British lists. He'll probably play me a British list, so we will talk about it. I'm gonna take you guys to what I'm working on, and it's also in the FAQ. And it's something that I want to talk to you guys. What do you think about the Greyhound card being applied to armored Panzer Grenadiers? Is it allowed or not?
I think it is. The Greyhound lasts the -2 points, and it's
Exactly. The thing is that the card says that it is applied to any tank or Panzer Grenadier platoons. It's the same as the rebuilding card, the 9th rebuilding card.
Yeah, so I mean, armored Panzergrens are Panzergrens.
Exactly. So basically, I've been looking at this wrong. I've tried to build Panzer Grenadier companies and always failing with the stupid mortar platoon that just goes away and runs away and it's very stupid. So I said, okay, armored Panzer Grenadiers, this looks much better. And I came up with this list. I don't know if you guys can see it.
We'll see it with a bit of a delay.
With a bit of a delay, of course.
Yep.
It's something that I will play as a maneuver list. So basically, when doing a matchmaking, this is what I will do. I will take as a maneuver list because it's big, it's fluffy, and it has some punch. It has some punch. So basically, it's all infantry have Panzerfaust upgrade. I have a Panzerschreck on my Panzer Grenadier platoon, which will probably be on the table for most of the games, even in the games where I will be defending and with reserves. I will have an armored Panzer Grenadier platoon, which actually I will keep in reserves together with my Panzer Force, because I've noticed that sometimes you can move a lot of tanks from your objective with infantry assaulting tanks, if you know how to place them and if you are good enough in minimizing the amount of return fire of defensive fire. And then I went with the mortar section, which is armored, and that's gold. I mean, it's 4 points for veteran bombardment. You have 3 points in Americans, and you have only 3 models, and they are trained. So, hello, my new favorite bombardment. Everybody is taking those mortars in American lists. The 81 millimeters mortars, which are, it's a good platoon to have, 3 points or 2 points, depending if they are trained, if they are 3+ or 4+ to hit, but they are trained no matter what. So basically, here you get the 80-inch mortar section, which is basically the same caliber, a little bit smaller, but they are veterans, and they are 4, and yeah, they are 1 point more than what the Americans are. The Stummels are no brainer. Everybody will take 6 of them in any list. And then I've taken some flamethrowers just for the fun, just to be able, for example, I will keep them also in reserve to have them come on the table and probably mow down some infantry, or otherwise.
What else?
Yeah, otherwise they will help me a lot in assaults, and probably they will be very handy dealing with carriers also. I mean, it will be much better to waste your flame shots on carriers than to waste them on Panzer IV on them. Then the anti-aircraft, it's a unit that I mean, it's 1 point because of the card, and it's in the list, but I don't know. It's a unit that I'll probably put in the forest and forget about it for the entire game. Or if my opponent has an airplane, I will probably have them around my Tigers. Then Wefts, that's like you can either go for Nebels or Wefts, but I really like the fact that with the West you can get your template to positioned as well as you can to be able to get a good assault from, because with the Nebels having a large template, yeah, it's super nice, super convenient. It's also in the detriment of the fact that you're pretty you can be hurt by other artillery, so the return fire can be deadly to unarmored artillery. So Wests are a good option from my perspective. Then a Panzer AOP with MG. I will take this just because it's an armored tank. It has MGs and I can keep on the table even when I have deep reserves. And it might help. It might be handy. Then 2 Tigers and 4 Panzer IVs. This is my entire list. I don't know how it will face, how it will handle. This is what I thought about playing as maneuver. So not defensive, but maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Lud and Rob? What do you guys think?
I mean, yeah, looking at your list, it's looking good, and it's actually it would be fun to model as well because you've got a diversity of things. And I mean things. It's quite rare to see a German list with so many toys. The Germans tend to
have few toys.
Be the guys that never get all of their toys on the table.
Yeah.
But this is looking good. One thing, have you actually? I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. But the 21st Panzer Div, could you replace your Vesps with their indirect? It's the
schleppers.
Wrens? Yeah.
Yeah, you can take that that platoon. Let me check about it because
their firepower, being brutal, is quite nice.
Yeah, you can take them. They are 8 points, so it's 1 point cheaper. They are not brutal. Oh yeah, they are brutal, but I think the vests are brutal also.
I remember. I think it was.
Yeah, they're brutal also.
I think it was in Serbia.
Yeah.
At the Belgrade GT.
Yes.
I actually. I'm not sure. I might remember this wrong from another tournament, but I actually started popping Churchills with the Lorenz.
Yeah.
Close range.
You can do that. Side shots, you can do that. The fact that it's why I prefer the Vesps is basically because I don't understand why they have a 3+ as a firepower, because I remember they used to be 2+ for the artillery, but who knows?
Couldn't be Belgrade because I had my French Desert Army in Belgrade. Sorry for that. Just realized it.
Yeah. So basically, I say Vesps because you have MGs. You can defend from assaulting infantry. And what else is? I think the Wests actually have a moving groff, and they are. Yeah, they have a moving groff, and they are just low firing. So basically, you get a penalty for moving, but you're still able to move and shoot with them. So yeah, they could
That's
be
a big advantage.
Yeah, they could be handy to try to sneak a flank shot on I don't know what else now, because everybody's like bulky. I mean, the old Churchills, they were pretty vulnerable, but now with side 8, it's like What do you think, Rob?
It's a good list. And with speaking with Tom a few games ago, if you're going to be taking any of those, I suppose downgrade cards for the German Panzer divisions, you need to bulk up your formation to really get that back pick, because you've got a lot of units here. So that's what 2, 2, 2, 2. It adds up. So those Panzer IVs start coming into play. So it means you've got that static infantry to hold an objective while you move around with their half tracks and everything else, and you got the armored 7.5s, which are good to move around as well. Yeah. And I suppose a lot of players will be focusing on those 2 Tiger tanks moving around. Yeah. So a lot of stuff will divert to deal with them, especially with Americans, because even with AT-12, you're going to have to pump a lot of stuff into that just to kill them.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then obviously with the half tracks, you can do an armored assault, can jump out, get the half tracks to pin down the infantry as you move in. And then with the Vesps, I'm really starting to lean more towards the mechanized artillery, because the fact is you can't get pinned.
Exactly.
With any other artillery like your
25 pounders.
Nebs, you can just have a little cheap mortar platoon get a hit on them, and they could just get pinned for like so many turns, and you'll never get them off.
Exactly. This is why I've opted for the armored mortar section also, because this list is actually unpinnable, except for the Panzer Grenadiers, which are on foot. My original list was actually with armored Panzer Grenadiers and with a reconnaissance platoon, but then
expensive. The
yeah,
recon.
actually they fitted quite good in the list. The problem was that it felt a bit too mobile, let's say. I mean, I didn't have any static infantry that I will keep on the one objective and then get my opponent to attack the other objective, you know? This is how I'm using my static infantry. It's like I put them on the objective that it's the most exposed one. So basically he will probably focus all his artillery there, and then I will have one objective not to care about and focus my my units on flanking and doing some damage to his attacking force. And if I'm attacking, if it's playing as a maneuver, you can get a lot of mobile scenarios. So meeting engagements and these kind of things, and usually you have to defend one of your objective. So basically, this platoon will be tasked with defending that. But usually, I'm keeping my infantry inside their tracks, inside their vehicles, because now with the 3+ save for passengers, it's a no-brainer from my perspective. I mean, I wouldn't run my infantry on open fields at all. I mean, that's suicidal for them, and I will always keep them in their half tracks and in their transport. Even, for example, if you get I think in unarmored, actually they die instantly if the unarmored unit gets destroyed, or do they have a save?
Unarmored, like trucks and stuff, if
Yes.
they hit, truck gets blown up, everything in there dies.
Everything dies, so they don't get a save. But now with this 3+ save, it's for sure that you're going to have your infantry. And usually what I'm doing is forcing my half tracks to the objective, even with Americans. So I'm taking my half tracks to the objective, surrounding my opponent, and waiting for him to kill my half tracks. And my guys are down, and in the next turn they can assault. So basically, I'm not just putting them down and having to wait and then do this kind of thing. So basically, it's a kind of a bait. So sometimes you don't want infantry to come out of their vehicles, because your tanks will probably suddenly can't be able to pass, because they will have to assault them, and you can block with them. And this is, I mean, I like mechanized units, and I like mechanized formations, and I've been playing a lot of mechanized armies, and this is something that I will take. I'm not convinced of the Tigers, I'm telling you, because for example, for 24 points, I could get some 21st. So you've talked about the 21st Division. You can actually get some the 7.5 Hotchkiss.
Yep.
So it's 13
and
points.
They're awesome models. I actually can't wait to get. I've got a full 21st Panzer Division army already lined up.
Nice.
I have the models, but well, I need to finish up a few projects before I get my hands on them. The models are super fun.
Exactly. And actually what you can do, you can get these Hotchkisses, which are really good for 80-12, And you can, so for the tigers, you can get these 3 Hotchkisses, and you can get 4 88s. So yeah, I think it's I don't know.
Then again, the tigers can be a really good distraction because people tend
To go on them,
well,
yes.
okay, yeah, people tend to, especially since it hasn't been that long since everybody played mid-war.
Yeah.
So it's something people will concentrate on, and you might be able to do some surprises or tricks when, especially if it's an unexperienced player, concentrating just on the tigers because, yeah, looking at any comics or movies or whatever, it's always tigers, tigers, tigers.
Tigers everywhere. Yeah,
Nobody,
tigers.
nobody
It's
sees.
something that can just
Yeah.
roll over infantry as well. If they've lost their AT, as soon as they go into that combat, the infantry can't touch them, and you could just push them away and keep pushing them back.
Exactly. If you go with the tiger with tigers inside the British platoon, infantry platoon, the British can't do that much to them. So basically, it's 1 Piat hitting you on a 4+, and then you have a 2+ save, and yeah, I don't know. It's hard.
And then you would have to fail a firepower as well. So.
And it's 5+ as well. So
yeah. It's a long run.
Well, I mean, it can happen that you destroy, as said in a few streams, it can happen that you destroy 4 tigers in 1 turn with your armored rifle platoon, but
exactly.
I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon again.
Exactly, you can do that.
The Dutch again.
Yeah. So what you can do is try your luck, and I'm still waiting to see if the tigers confirm or not. So basically, I think this will be a list that I intend to test with you, Rob. So you can build your British force just to, however you want it.
There'll be some M10 17 pounders in my list. Then you can guarantee that.
Yeah. I was betting on that. I haven't done any of the British list without the Achilles. So basically, it's something that you need as a British player. You need one Achilles platoon. What other things I've done was this one, I think. And this is, Panzer Grenadiers with Vusts and Nebels, and is it with, no. This is with the reconnaissance, but I have one. Let me find it. Yeah, somebody told me once, you need to put your things in order once you get the stream going, because you cannot do this during your stream. And let me check. So, is it this one? With Stux, flag spec fronts. Yeah, this is another list that I would play as a mobile, let's say, or would like to attack with. It's based on Panzer Grenadiers, so this was before I actually opened my eyes. I've seen that I can use the armored Grenadiers. And what this has is it has an 88 anti-aircraft, so the 88 with pack fronts. It's downgraded because I use them for placing them on the table. So my opponent has to put his heavy-duty guns on the table before me attacking, and I will use this pack front actually, so that I can spread my 88s on the table, and I can cover all the angles he could hide his heavy tanks.
You basically play chess, controlling the table.
Exactly, and I'm like I want him to be there with his heavy tanks, because I know that if he goes anywhere else, he will be in the range for my 88s. And actually, I've played with a friend of mine from the club, and he was playing with tigers and everything, and he had a very hard time hiding his tigers. And in the end, I managed to sneak an 8.8 centimeters round inside one of those tigers. And guess what? After 3 turns, the tigers were gone. Even if they stay on the table as they do, you will roll the one at a point. And of course, Stuks, which I find it to be the best, how do you call them, artillery in the game, because they're very well defended, and they have also direct fire, which is very good. You can bring them close to the bunkers and kill things with them. Of course, they will not match the average psychological effect.
But it's close enough.
It's close enough, exactly.
It's a really hard artillery unit to get rid of.
Exactly. I mean,
you need to invest in getting those 3 tanks away.
Exactly, and probably they will stay either at long range or when they come close, they will be so close that you'll probably get 1 round of firing and then you're dead with your guns. How many points, Rob? How many points were the priests in the British list? 16 points.
So it's 16 points for the priests, but then you can take Saxtons, which brings them down to 14, which I pretty much do all the time because that's the same points as the static 25-pounders. So exactly. I find it a no-brainer to take the Saxton card all the time.
Exactly, and this is a 15-point fearless, veteran, careful, and front 7 mobile artillery unit you're having on the table. So, you know, it's not much. It's not that much easy difference.
Saxons.
What? Sorry.
Well, it beats the armor of the Saxons. The Saxons' armor is like I think 1 or something like that.
Exactly. So basically, you could actually go to assault with this Stuks. Actually, they are assault guns, so it's in their name. So this list played very nice, and webs, Stuks, and mortars, and flamethrowers, and I'm telling you, he didn't know where to pop his Pack 40 ambush, because he was all over. I was all over the place. I was assaulting with everything, you know, having bombardments on his Pack front, and he popped his Pack 40s, and I think he took out 3 of my Stummels, but then my Stuks were right there, so they did the job. They took out those Pack 40s in the next turn, so direct fire, you know, because he had to reroll the saves. The 3+ saves is very strong for the Pack 40, but it's not invincible once you get the brutal.
It's still a 50-50 basically. So
yeah, exactly. So guys, these were my German lists for today. You have anything else you want to talk about it?
Oh, I mean, we could continue the series of what have you bought this week?
Yeah, exactly.
And, Rob, if you want to, I mean, it's not just Flames of War. I mean, any how would I say, hobby confessions
you have to make?
Well, somehow this week with the hobby confessions, I managed to paint 2 British parachute platoons and quite a lot of support of Fallschirmjäger since Monday. And I've been in work all day, and I don't really know how I did it, but I did.
Okay, yeah. You could say that's a pretty good confession.
Yeah.
So you've been painting at work, or was it just me hearing that?
No. That's I think that's the worst bit. I've been painting when I've got up before I go to work, and then in a few hours when I've got back. So yeah, so I guess my
So no sleeping, eating.
Oh no, I have slept. It's just I've become very efficient, you would say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's when you get this, when you come up with a system of painting a platoon, it goes quick.
Yes.
It can go really quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything T needs to tell us?
Yeah, I need to tell
You
you.
said you'd bought something.
No.
Oh no, it was Kristian who bought something. Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, I got my last bit of the daily deals. I
show
got
them to
my
us.
team. I got my Team Yankee book. It's on the other side of the room. I've
All
got
right.
I've got the book for Team Yankee. I got mortar half tracks
Whoa,
and
nice.
priests. Oh, and Hummels.
Hummels. Oh, those are
Yeah,
nice. You will never
yeah.
see me playing them, but they are really nice. Really nice.
I'm having a hard time finding any room for them in any especially competitive list, but
Exactly.
the models look so awesome. I just couldn't pass on it. And
Exactly.
then on Monday, I actually managed to see a this is not Flames of War, it's for 40k, the Sisters of Battle, the collector's box
Yeah.
at my local friendly game store. So I went and picked it up because with the new 9th edition coming up, they released, well, leaked, released, don't know how to say, uh, a picture of this badass, pardon my French, but really badass looking guy with a two-handed sword. And I decided, yeah, that's going to be like Black Templars combined with Sisters of Battle, so two bunches of complete nutcase fanatics
Nice.
running around the table, and the um, the color scheme and I get is interesting. I get to try some new techniques, so on. Yeah, it's been this. I lately got into 40k with the Ragnar model.
All right.
After what? Don't know. I mean, it's been 20 years since I've touched any 40k models. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's coming back to you.
they're gonna be just friendly games. Try out some new stuff modeling wise. Still holding on to Flames of War as the game, so to speak.
The
But
game
yeah,
system.
get to try out new stuff, and maybe get around to know some of the other guys at my club, and not just the Flames of War or historical players.
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, actually, what happened to me, I tried the kill team. And this was because most of the guys playing Flames were like into a burnout period where they were like, let's take it easy with Flames of War and chill out. And because, we are a small community here, but very competitive. So basically, we are picking our brains every time we're building a list and playing. And actually, when you play, if you are at the shop with us when we play, it's you wouldn't think that we are teammates. You would think that we are like biggest enemies. And actually, this helps a lot when you come to tournaments and everybody's friendly and everybody's relaxed and everybody's chilling, and you don't feel any kind of pressure, because what you have at home is like hell, compared to going to have a drink with your opponent and these kind of things. When we are playing, it's
Yeah.
like, come on, dude, I want to go for a smoke or something. No, 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 come play because I have to go home, or we play now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually for Rob. You haven't been at the tournaments yet, so I mean it's super relaxed. People usually have a beer or two during the game. Then we have this rule coming from the ETC that if you win the game, you buy a beer for the loser,
Yeah.
which is super nice. And mean, the idea is to have fun. I mean, it's grown men playing with toy soldiers.
Exactly.
You can't take it
Oh.
that seriously. So
I've been to tournaments for Lord of the Rings because there's a big gaming centre in South Wales called Firestorm.
I've heard about
it was meant to be an ETC a few years ago, but it got called off. Or maybe I went ahead. I'm not sure, but I never went out on the Saturday night with the Lord of the Rings crew. But I just took advantage of the hangovers, or shall I say, still drunkenness of my opponent the next day. I will take any advantage I can get when it comes to their wargaming. But no, it always seemed like a nice social atmosphere more than a competitive gaming atmosphere.
Nice.
Oh, and I mean, you get to meet quite a bunch of cool people. I mean, T and me, if it weren't for the ETC or the tournaments around Europe,
Yeah,
we wouldn't have anything to do with each other.
We don't know.
I mean,
who knows?
I mean, yeah, it could be, but most likely, I mean, who knows?
This is what got us together.
Yeah, and
yeah.
I mean, you get to play with people. Well, the ETC. I mean, we play with guys from literally from the other side of the world.
Exactly.
So what's better than having fun with people just coming together and having this one thing in common?
It's actually what we're doing right now during this stream. So basically, same thing. This is a hobby that unites everybody. And actually, if you think about it, when you think about it, it's based on a war. You know, that actually happened, and you then after 75 years, you find people playing history and actually have learned something from that and being friendly now. And yeah, this is how the humanity should progress, I think. I will show you what I've done because
everybody start playing mini games.
Exactly.
Yeah, like if there's anyone wants to invade anyone, let's play Flames of War instead of actually getting people killed. We'll just go with that instead.
It's much simple.
You get all the area you wanted if you get an 8-1, and if it goes to 6-4, then you'll have to start negotiating on the piece of terrain you needed.
Exactly. I will show you guys what I've done because you've asked me what I've done this week. I've actually received 1 box of Churchills, but they are Soviet Churchills, and they are for my friend Laur because he gave me his Churchills, so we're like changing. I've finished actually the Achilles I've been working on. Those guys where you just remove the gun.
Smart. Very smart.
And then you have the M12, the M10, the American one. So this is how you do it. You just magnetize things. And what I've done, I've worked a lot on this small little things that you call the carriers. And I have them like this. This is a WASP model. I don't know if you can see it. It's magnetized. The dude also, it's magnetized coming in like this. You see the guy with the flamethrower. And then, of course, if you don't play so many WASPs, and if you just want to play the carriers, and you want to have your MG guy, you put the MG guy inside. And then, if you want to upgrade them to a Piat, guess what? There's the Piat.
Yeah, that's cool.
Guys, you can do this with your carriers. It's really nice, really easy. It takes about 6 magnets to do. So it's a good.
I should maybe tell Alex about what you've been doing, and maybe you will have to write an article on how you model.
How I magnetize
carriers.
Exactly.
Because I mean, okay, there's a lot of stuff about how you magnetize turrets, but it's the first time I've ever seen something that small being
Magnetized,
basically one huge magnet.
Yeah. That's how it goes. So what happens is, I'm not cheap, but let's say I like to conserve my energy when painting a model. So I will paint one carrier and use it as a flamethrower, as a Piat carrier, or as an MG carrier. That's it. Not painting 24 carriers. I'm just painting 12, and I'm using them.
Which is quite enough already.
I wish I'd seen this 2 months ago, because you would have saved me a fortune.
See, there you go. What is the hardest part is the fact that I haven't yet figured it out, and maybe if there are people watching this stream and they already know the answer, it will be a pretty. I mean, I've seen it in your battle reports, Rob, having the HMG thing, the Vickers.
Oh yeah, the MMG carriers.
Exactly. So having the Vickers in magnetized, because it's very small. What I have it right now. It's you just press it down and that's it, and it stays. But it's not something that it stays as good as, for example, something with magnets on.
You could always try a bit of blue tack or white tack or something, should hold it in place. Or do what I did and use plastic glue and stick with the MMG carriers and buy another box of MMG carriers.
No, I'm still trying to avoid that, and I'm telling you, it's not because I'm cheap, which probably is true, but it's especially for the fact that I don't want to paint them. I mean, it will take me a lot of time to paint all these models, and I already have this.
The point is you can have them with 50 cals as well now with the command cards.
Exactly. You see, this is what I have to paint, and it's a lot for my standards. It's a lot, you know. I have my spray can ready to paint, so
I think I'll have to take pictures of my pile of shame someday. But I'm not sure I can publish them because it's.
You will ruin your reputation as a world painter.
No. It's just that, I might have to explain something later on. That how much did you put on minis again?
Exactly. Then, you know, the Daimlers, it's the same thing as with the, just take out the gun and have your long thumb. Bam, bam.
Yeah.
This is.
Again, I wish I'd seen this earlier.
This is how we roll in. Two barrels on the same model, because I don't know if people will use long johns. I find them. What you can kill with anti-tank 7, you can kill with. I mean, what you can kill with anti-tank 8, you can kill with anti-tank 7 as good, or have the same chances. I mean, you do use anti-tank 7 against front armor 2 or 1. I wouldn't.
With the Daimlers, because they're so small, they could easily sneak past something. And if you got something like a Panzer, that side armor is really soft. And would a German player allocate that much resources to get rid of Daimlers when there's either Churchills or Shermans in front of them? So those little sneaky little guys can just get inside, and especially with a spearhead, because the defenders will place first.
Exactly.
I know they're not as fast as UC's cross country, but you could easily get some side shots in somewhere.
You have a good point, Rob.
I mean, as we discussed with Kristian in a few earlier discussions, is that having let's say two platoons of Daimlers and Dingos running around your artillery park.
Exactly.
You will have to divert forces against them.
And
otherwise, you'll have at least six armored units buzzing around your rear area, and you don't want that. 3
points each.
2.
Yeah.
With the Little John, I think it's 3.
Yeah, with the Little John is 3. But this is why I'm saying, because I would prefer 3 more carriers instead of the Little John. My opinion, because okay, you have your point with Panthers. It's good. It's actually good with another thing with Stewards, shooting Stewards in front. It's very good and it's very productive to have anti-tank 8 against him. And that's about it. But I don't think we will see Stewards in the current meta, and I don't think we will see Panthers. We will. I mean, I'm waiting.
The British Stewards aren't that good anyway because they suffer from overworked.
So yeah, they're just a tank formation spearhead unit, if anything. They're about 6 points for 3.
Which ones?
The Stuarts in like all Stuarts are all in all the British formations.
No, I'm not talking about the British Stuarts, which are
the
American Stuarts, which are the base in Stuart.
Yeah.
Stuart topics. I mean, you can get 5 for 12 points, and veteran ones, and you can get I think 4 for 8 points with the British, right?
Yeah, that's right. But again, it's overworked.
Exactly.
But they do have spearhead.
Exactly. That's a good thing. And usually, when I was like building my U.S. list, before the D-Day British book, I was going for either the Sherman with the Firefly as a support platoon, or the Stewards as a recon, because spending 6 points compared to 3 points on my American recon, which is rubbish. You can they die from pistols, that's crap. And having 3 tanks, it's even if they are overworked or whatever else. I mean, my Greyhound is also overworked, so same thing. The Stewards were always a preferred unit to have as an American player in doing recon. Yeah, that's about it. So we shall see how it goes. I'm really hoping, and I'm really hyped about the SS book. And
myself included.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. Maybe Pete and Chris will show us something on Sunday. I don't know what time they're going to be on.
It was for us Europeans. It was quite late.
Yeah, for us Eastern Europeans, because it's 9:30 London time, so that is 11:30 our time. Yeah.
Yep.
It's the usually stream hour for them. It's something to look up on to see if they will leak anything else from the SS book, and also from the.
I hope they're gonna leak quite a lot. And one thing I'm super excited for is the Finnish mid-war book.
I hope I'll see the Finnish and the Romanians and all those Hungarians lists and all those late war lists that we are all waiting for. I think they will focus actually on launching the SS book and the Bagration, and probably they will forget about the Finns and the Romanians and the Huns. This is my hint. I see you're a bit scared, Lud. Of this perspective, but
I don't think. I mean, the what's easy with the Finns is that it's most likely an infantry force. That I mean, the biggest part of your army is always going to be infantry with Finns.
Exactly.
You can pretty much use the same list in mid-war as in late war because the Finnish arsenal didn't change much during the war.
Exactly.
I mean,
you had some KVs.
You had a difference. You had a difference during the Winter War and the so-called continuation war for us. But since the Russians gave us a ton of stuff just by driving over the border and freezing them there, so we picked them up.
Exactly.
And if you want to go super late, some Stugs and looted T-34s, ISUs, but the core will still be the same artillery pieces, the same
And
infantry.
crazy infantry.
Yeah, I mean they if they're going to be anything like in V3,
Yeah.
they will be good. They will be fearless vets.
Yeah. Our
They will
captain.
have they will have amazing like terrain crossing capabilities, even for heavier weapons.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to
It's
be
good.
interesting.
Yeah, I miss the Gebirgsjäger rule actually, and
Oh,
I think they will have it.
yeah,
The but
pack mules, or what was it called? Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
The
I mean, yeah, it's most likely you would have something like that. But
perfect.
yeah, I mean, it will be interesting, especially now that we us Finns noticed something with the cover of the book, the Mannerheim Cross,
Yeah,
which is still the highest military award you can have, was upside down on the cover.
yeah.
So there was a few of us going like, guys, you really need to fix this. You
Yeah.
cannot have the medal upside down.
Yeah,
And they did it. Like it took like 24 hours for them to answer like, yeah, we fixed it. Don't worry.
yeah. Great job, great job. Okay, guys. I will wrap it up for tonight. It's been 1 hour and a half. It's been really fun. We've talked about many things. We will stay a bit and discuss about how we will get to play remotely with Rob, and see when we will find a suited place, and maybe how we will be able to play it online live for people to watch it live, or maybe Rob will edit it and post it on his channel. It's other way. I'm having a game, so this is what matters for me.
Oh,
This
by the
is
way, I'm having a game tomorrow at our local club as well, which opened on Monday.
good for
Can't
you, my
wait.
friend.
Lucky bugger.
Lucky you, yeah, because we're open also here, but my guys are like, I don't know, probably.
Plague, wargaming.
No, it's
I'd be
that-
down there with dice straight away.
yeah, but we don't know. I
I
mean,
mean, hey, there's 2 flights daily from London to Helsinki still going. The London flights were the only ones that didn't stop.
really?
Oh, please
yeah.
don't question my government's response to this, because it's
No,
just.
no, but I mean, technically, you could get here by tomorrow afternoon and have a game.
Exactly, and then come back and stay in quarantine for 2 weeks or something like
Well,
that.
but the thing is, though, I think the quarantine thing my government's brought in is only towards the end of the month, so I think I could still make it.
Yeah, that'll be a good thing. Okay, guys. So basically, we see each other, Lud and probably Kristian, and Rob. Will get him on the live also. We will see each other on Friday. Hopefully, we'll have something very interesting to talk about, like
Next week's Friday.
like
Be there
leaks.
or be square.
Be there or be square, like leaks from the game and from the new releases, and I'm really hoping, I'm really hyped with the stream, and I hope they will do some good quality content there. They've done a good job, Battlefront, during this pandemic time, with the daily deals and with the free shipment and everything. I'm looking forward to see you guys healthy next week, and I hope everybody watching this stream will also be around, and pop some questions if you watch this stream afterwards, recorded. Leave your comments, subscribe, and don't forget to stay safe. So, guys, to you, last words.
Rob.
You go first. I wanna know.
I mean, pretty much what T said. Stay safe. If you can, have games. Don't forget to paint your minis. And yeah, comment. We really want to get feedback on this talk show, or whatever you could call it, because the only way we can actually improve on it is through feedback. I mean, times, is Friday okay? Or now that the world is opening, Do you want to go for drinks on Friday? So should we move it maybe?
Exactly. Good point, Lord.
There's so many things. Okay, we do know that we need maybe better cameras. I should maybe okay, I stopped using my laptop's crappy webcam and moved on to my phone. But still, there's so much we could improve on, and this is kind of a community engagement project. So we would love to hear from you. What have you
Exactly.
guys been doing? And if you come up with anyone we should absolutely interview or talk with
And have it
on
in our
this
stream.
stream, uh,
Give us a
give
shout
that
out.
person a shout out,
Yeah.
or I mean, surrender yourself. Uh, tell us who you are, and we might have you on for a chat.
Exactly.
We already have quite a bunch of cool people lined up in the future. There's going to be awesome painters, guys that have really contributed to their local communities already before all this nonsense started.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we really just want to expand on people getting to know each other and talk with each other and talk about this game we all love.
Exactly. Thank you, Lud. Now to you, Rob.
Yeah, so as what Lud said, but keep buying the models as well. Keep funding that machine that keeps pumping out that plastic.
From your FLGS, if possible.
Yes. Again, obviously, subscribe to this channel as well, and if you want to see any battle reports, come over to mine as well. There should be one going live tomorrow.
Can't wait for it.
Again, Valentine's versus 90th Light Company, and trying out the South African Rifle Company for the first time. So some, well, not the only problem is their last stand, but yeah. So again, stay safe, follow whatever your government's guidelines are, and just wait, be patient. Eventually, the gaming tables will open again, and all the war gamers will migrate back to their tables and feed on those terrible dice rolls.
Exactly.
That will no doubt happen.
Exactly. Thank you, guys. So see you guys next time, and thank you for staying with us and watching us.